The episode starts with Abir doing the shayari and smiling seeing Mishti. Abir and Mishti go and see the Ganpati. Abir does the aarti. Deva Shri Ganesha plays. Mishti gets Nanu's call. He asks Mishti about Kunal and Abir's fight. Mishti says I will talk to you later. We are doing Visarjan. A man comes to pray to Ganpati. He goes and jumps in the river. Mishti turns and gets shocked. She runs and says someone is drowning. Someone save him. Help. No one hears her. She removes her specs and jumps in the river. Abir takes the Ganpati for the Visarjan and sways the idol in the river. He closes eyes and prays. The people see Mishti and the man and shout someone save them. Abir opens eyes and gets shocked seeing her. Mishti gets the man out of the river. Abir and some men go to help. The men lift the man and get him out. Abir covers Mishti with a dupatta. Abir turns the man and sees his face. He asks does anyone know him. Mishti says check his ID. Abir says no. He just has a phone. That's locked. He checks the man's heartbeat. He says his breath is running. I will call the doctor. The man holds his hand. Mishti says when I went to save him, he came with difficulty. I feel he jumped intentionally. We should take him. The lady says we can't take him to the hospital. There will be much traffic. Mishti says we will take him to the hotel and call doctor there. Meenakshi asks Laxman to find him. He has left from Mumbai. He is on the way to Rajkot. She stumbles on stairs and drops phone. Kunal holds her and asks what if you got hurt? Where is your attention? He picks phone and asks who is this? Meenakshi takes the phone and says no one. He asks whose phone was it? She asks why did you fight Abir? He says I don't want to talk about it. She says I won't tell you about the call. He goes. She thinks I didn't let his shadow fall on you Kunal. My husband is coming to Rajkot. She prays for her children's protection. Kunal stops and looks at her. Kahu comes and asks why don't you talk to her well? I'm seeing you talking rude to her. He says you can take credit for this. She says I felt you won't hurt anyone you love. You don't love me and you hurt me. You are hurting your mum and Abir. He says you won't understand. She says complicated is relation status. It should be your name. I don't want to understand you. The man gets conscious. Doctor checks him. Mishti says Kunal. Kahu and Jasmeet left. They would have reached home. Jasmeet reaches home. Shankari Tai says you didn't invite us for Kahu's marriage. You are finding a girl for stranger instead finding a guy for Mishti. Rajshri says no. That guy isn't a stranger to us. He is such a nice guy. Handsome. Mature. He is a gem. Shankari says then get that gem for your family. Talk about Mishti's alliance with him. I'm joking. But I feel two sisters shouldn't go to same Sajural. Jasmeet messages Varsha and asks her to come out to talk about Kahu. Varsha says I will just come. Rajshri says you remember when you got Vishwambar's alliance to our house. Shankari asks how could I forget? I fixed Ram and Siddha's Jyoti. I didn't make any mistake since that day. Can I get Abir's Kundli? Rajshri says I will find out. Shankari says he looks good. Doctor says I have injected him. He will be fine. Abir thanks him. He asks the man to give number of his family members. The man says I have a family. But they won't come. I have to go to them. Abir asks why did you fall in the river? The man says it doesn't matter. Mishti says it's bad manners to leave life. The man says no one regrets for my life's loss. It doesn't matter. Abir says thank God. Mishti has seen you and saved you. The man says I feel she was there because of you. Mishti asks him to tell about himself. The man says I lost my identity. I lost my family. I was going to meet them and felt it's better to stay away. I cheated them. The burden is big on my heart. And I went towards the sea. Abir asks him to lift burden with the help of family. Mishti says yes. Mistakes are small. We make it big. The man says you feel I should go back. Abir says when someone dear goes. Many questions are left incomplete. Mishti asks where do you want to go? The man says Rajkot. Mishti says we are going there. Can we help? The man says nothing happens just like that. Meeting you two isn't a coincidence. It's Bapa's wish. Abir asks do you believe in him? The man says surely. He made me meet you two. I'm giving that belief to you. I feel you both are going through some problem. I just know that your problem will be taken by Bapa. He gives the idol to Mishti and blesses her. She thanks him. The man gets Meenakshi's call. Abir passes the phone. The man says I will be back. Mishti says this uncle also talks deep things like you. Abir says I will talk to Kunal. Jasmeet asks is anyone following you? Varsha says no. Where is Mishti? Jasmeet says she will come alone. I called you to talk about Kahu. Varsha asks is she fine? Jasmeet says Kahu and Kunal came with Abir. Kunal and Abir fought. Kunal said congrats Mishti. You separated the brothers. Varsha asks what? Why would he say this? Jasmeet says Kunal didn't stay in Mumbai. I came back with Kunal and Kahu. Mishti is with Abir. Abir asks for the man. Mishti says guard has seen him leaving in the cab. Abir asks how can he go like this? Baba. I mean. Mishti says I'm sure you would be able to find your dad. Abir says when you are with me. I feel I can do anything. She says no. When you are with me. I feel we can do anything. He says we shall go. The guard says taxi is ready. Abir and Mishti hold hands and leave.